The Queen has been joined by many veterans at St. Paul's Cathedral for a service commemorating the end of British involvement in the Afghanistan War. PM David Cameron gave a reading at the ceremony, which members of the royal family also attended. A procession through London and a flypast are taking place, ahead of a reception at Guildhall. A simultaneous service was held in Afghanistan for troops still there. Earlier, Afghan President Ashraf Ghani paid tribute to the 453 UK troops who died in the 13-year conflict, saying they had paid the ultimate sacrifice to enable us to live in freedom, in hope for peace, prosperity, and dignity. Blessing. The Duke of Edinburgh, the Prince of Wales and Duchess of Cornwall, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge and Prince Harry, who served 2 tours during the conflict, were also at the ceremony. During the service, the Archbishop of Canterbury, the Most Reverend Justin Welby, blessed a cross made of shell casings which had been on a memorial wall in Camp Bastion, the main Allied base in Afghanistan. The cross will later be moved to the Royal British Legion's National Memorial Arboretum. The Dean of St. Paul's, the Very Reverend Dr. David Eisen, gave thanks for the commitment of service personnel, aid agencies, and support organizations in that country. He also commemorated with sorrow and regret those who were killed and asked for prayer for Afghanistan, calling for remembrance of the danger which people in that great country continue to face today. Dave Hart, who served and was injured in Afghanistan, said, "I think today really is primarily, for me, about the comrades who didn't come home. And those who have come back with injuries, be they physical or mental, and also for their families. It does feel like a closing of a chapter really." Similar ceremonies are also being held at military bases and churches across the UK, as well as in Germany. The event in Afghanistan at the Afghan National Officers Academy was attended by 150 personnel and some Afghan dignitaries. Very difficult. UK forces were part of a US-led coalition which invaded Afghanistan and toppled the ruling Taliban in 2001, following the 9/11 attacks in the US. At the peak of the 13-year campaign, the UK military had 9,500 troops and 137 bases in Helmand province. The UK ended its operations in October, while NATO finished its mission in December. Earlier, Sarah Adams, mother of PTE James Prosser, who was killed in Afghanistan in 2009, told the Today program the country had not been left as safe as was intended. "James believed in what he was doing, and I have to try to accept that he wanted to do that and believed he should be there. But as a mum, it's very difficult. We did achieve a lot, but we didn't make it the safest place, and it's still ongoing. Afghan people are still losing their lives because of the Taliban." Former soldier Craig Gadd, now of Help for Heroes, lost his left leg after stepping on an improvised explosive device in Afghanistan. He said, "Things happen. I feel very lucky that I only lost one leg. Some of my colleagues have injuries far worse than mine. I've done some amazing things since that day." Lance Corporal James Ashworth was killed in 2012 and posthumously awarded the Victoria Cross. His father Dwayne Ashworth said he believed the situation in Afghanistan had improved following the military action there. "I do believe that the country is in a better position than it was when we first arrived 13 years ago. It's now for the forces that are there to continue that training with the Afghan forces and police, to make sure what our lads did does continue." In an interview with Forces TV, former Prime Minister Tony Blair said, "I always felt that it was right and justified that we were there in Afghanistan, that we were fighting both to remove the Taliban and then to try and stabilize the country. But there is nothing that's really possible to say that could provide true consolation for the family of someone who has lost their life." Defense Secretary Michael Fallon said, "Afghanistan has taught us these operations take time, you need to be patient, you need to help build resilience, you need to concentrate on developing and improving the economy of the country, as well as the military effort to defeat terrorism itself." Karzai clash. Some British combat troops still remain in Afghanistan in training, advisory, and support roles. As well as paying tribute to Britain's war dead, President Ghani spoke of the enduring legacy of the UK's commitment at the British-run Officer Training Academy near Kabul. BBC Afghanistan correspondent David Loyne said President Ghani's words contrast strongly with complaints by his predecessor President Karzai, who said that the British presence had made things worse in Helmand.